Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the greatest podcast known to man. And I'm in a good mood tonight because it is a welcome podcast. Because let's be honest, we probably should be ranked the way we rank that, but we go get into it. We're gonna get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Prime Minister of Duval County, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the chocolate Adonis, Mr. Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm him. It's Tuesday night. I'm hungry. It is what it is. I'll get there in a second. We have the greatest wide receiver ever to come out of Chicago as the co-host of this show. Don't at me, all right? Matter of fact, at me. We can go stat for stat, all right? The greatest wide receiver of indoor football, at me. The greatest athlete to wear the number 6 outside of the Slim Reaper at Alabama, James Big Game Hands of Satin Walton the third. What's going on, baby?
Hey, what's good, America? Look, I appreciate that, but I got to shout out Greg Lewis, Chatone Powers, Reggie Gray. I'm missing a few here and there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm honored that a dude from the South will give me such praise, man. So I'm here. It's real, America. It look here. I'm just telling you right now. Just expect things like that to happen throughout these shows and for the rest of the time now, because they didn't mess around. they didn't mess around and let Chris Turner go to FAO Schwartz or something like that. What was it? Hey, like hey. Hey, give him another one. Just give him another one, CT.
Oh, I'm official right now. All right,
let me get. So all I know is if you don't say something that don't hit on this show from here on out, it's gonna be buzzards flying around you, boy. I'm telling you. But you know what? I think you should do the honors of introducing one of our original longtime supporters who has honestly probably having one of the best days legit ever right now. I think
he's having a good time in life right now. So a Georgia native, and he's not a Georgia fan where it's just like, oh, well, he comes around every now and then. Like he was there for the Mark Richt years and like the choking against Florida and the David Pollack getting the sack, touchdown, strip, fumble recovery. He's been there since day one. I got to give the man credit for that. I got to introduce quite possibly the greatest Little League baseball coach in the state of Montana, who's raising a beast of a child all by itself. Like the kid's 9 years old, but he's about 6'1", 250.
Shotgun driver.
Oh God, and he plays baseball, which is the thing about it, which I'm trying to get him on the football field. But the Mr. If I need you, he got you. Like I ain't got to call this man twice. All it is, like he might cuss me out, but if I need him, he got me. Mr. Coach Anton Grier, what's going on, big dog?
What's happening, fellas? What's happening? I'm just over here, just relishing the day, a little bit.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hop straight into this. We have another guest coming here very, very shortly. He's on daddy duty right now. So he'll be here shortly. We'll give him his roses. But I don't know, for those of you who've been under a rock, the greatest thing has happened to Mr. Grier there, where the Georgia Bulldogs are, not only are they ranked number 1, but they're ranked number 1 with a rocket tied to their ass, because right now it looks damn near impossible not to beat them, but it looks damn near impossible to score on them. They are arguably, and me and Walt kind of had this discussion the other day, they're arguably the best defense in college football of all time. They're getting close to that kind of domain, because right now they're giving up, I think it's like 8 points a game or 7.6 or something like that. They're
6 point game.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're giving up 6 points a game.
That's the average, baby. 53 or 56 we're giving up.
The second closest would have been one of those Alabama teams that was giving up 11 points. So to be giving up less than a touchdown a game is ridiculous. Their offense, I'm not going to get into it, but right now they're ranked number 1 in the country with a rocket tied to their ass. And honestly, they're the most feared team in college football that nobody wants a piece of. So we got Mr. Grier on here to give him his roses and let him gloat for a little while. Mr. Grier, how do you feel about your Georgia Bulldogs right now?
How do I feel about my Georgia Bulldogs right now? Let me tell you something. Being a Georgia fan, an Atlanta fan, I don't get my hopes up. So you know what I mean? I know we got a good squad. I'll talk a little smack every now and again, but it ain't done till it's done. And when it's done, everybody gonna hear from me.
Well,
Especially you.
I love the laugh tracks. I'm gonna tell you this about you, AG. I appreciate that humility in you. This show picks its spots for that here and there. So by you taking the humble route and it's actually your team, it's all good. Allow me to fill in some things about what I've seen. And I credit Chris Turner for this because of just our talks about really what I kind of told him what his season was going to be like this year. And I've had to watch some college football. And I've been watching the last few weeks. And America, we've come to realize on this show, I'm like a Michael Jordan free throw percentage. I'm like right 82% of the time. So let me go ahead and continue to shoot for and say what I'm going to say. And I said this to Turner, Anton, and I want to say it to you, via the camera, to your face. This is the best defense I've seen since the Miami Hurricanes of the early 2000s. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I know Chris likes to throw on the 09 team from Alabama, which was very good. A lot of them guys are still making a lot of money in the league. So, I mean, right. But there was nothing like that Hurricane defense.
No.
Right? And that we've seen that could collectively do it, and they took it all the way. And Georgia reminds me a lot of that team. They're not necessarily as gifted offensively because that Miami team we're talking about, both sides of their ball.
And everybody.
They had Hall of Famers on both sides of the ball. Like it wasn't even right. And I mean, they had guys that went first round that played 2-3 years, but they were first round draft picks. When you talk about the Philip Buchanans and the Mike Rumps of the world, and those guys were all world college football players. Not to mention Ed Reed in the backfield, Vilma and all these, we don't have to go into those names because it's not their time, it's your time. The fact that Georgia's doing this with a backup quarterback who has shown that we don't really have a true Achilles heel, because the fact that he's doing what he's doing right now and they're still able to overcome, I'm just going to throw a punt. That's the one thing I noticed about the Florida game. Florida, I think, played as well as they could and as hard as they could.
Exactly. They ran out of bullets.
And your boy Spencer threw a couple second down punts, and it didn't even phase him. It didn't phase him. Like, it's amazing to watch. So when you look at that, when you realize we're in a situation where it doesn't matter who's behind center, we can win. We got enough talent outside. We can run the ball inside. And then you've got that hellacious defense. Like they're built. Like listen, you can't beat these guys. You can beat them once, but they're in a position that we're used to seeing Alabama in. Where, the slip up, it's the SEC. Let's call it what it is. Bama took one to A&M, shockingly. Like everybody didn't see, that's not where everybody saw Bama. They're going to lose one was going to be that game. They thought they had moved past it. Maybe it's the Iron Bowl. It's not going to matter because Auburn's already positioned themselves not to win the West. So to me, with Georgia, who's left in the East for them to play? Vanderbilt? Missouri.
This was the last hurdle was Florida. If they were going to slip, Florida was the
Florida would have been the team to do it. So they're already in the game. So here's why you're in such a great position and why you don't have to worry about it. Because even if they lose the SEC championship to whoever it may be, right now it's looking like it should be Alabama, like it should be them. Even if they lose, that could honestly be the best thing to happen for you guys because you're still going to get in. People are going to look at it the same way we've seen it happen with Bama, where they slip up in that game and they come in their 4 seed and now they're pissed off and they go beat ass for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So that's how good this Georgia team is just as dominant as last year's champion Alabama. It's just as dominant as LSU's team was the year before. It's just doing it a way different way. This is some old school, like the football we grew up playing, the three of us, because we're all in that age bracket where you saw teams like this where you're like, them dudes, them 11 dudes over there. Like you got dudes, I'm telling you right now, Florida's got all the swag in the world, as they should, because they're talented. They still got some talent over there after losing Kadarius Toney and Kyle Pitts and Trask, and they still can make plays. Ask Alabama. They still can make some plays. And you guys said absolutely not. From the front to your linebackers who are, I mean, look.
All I gotta say is Jordan Davis for Heisman.
Yeah, and I think we'll get in. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna save that. That might be a whole different video stream because we're gonna need our 4th guest for that. And I think that just kind of happened. Me and Chris were just talking about topics, and I think this why we had you guys. You know, when our guest shows up, like we've had something naturally come that we can get out right now and get to the masses tomorrow. So
here's the scariest thing about Georgia: their number 1 receiver hasn't played all season.
He's gonna be back.
You talking about, is it Cager?
Pickens.
No, Pickens.
Pickens. Oh, number 1.
Yep.
He's nice too.
Like,
Georgia keeps a nice receiver. They've never not had a team, even those Sugar Bowl winning teams always had that. You know, Terrence. I remember them guys. It was Fred Gibson. We were talking about Fred Gibson and Terrence.
Terrence Edwards.
Them boys could go.
Wow. Well, shit. You forget guys like Champ Bailey, Hines Ward.
Well, see, true. Those were good teams. Nobody will ever forget first ballot Hall of Famer Champ Bailey.
No.
Could you imagine if you had a Champ Bailey 2-way type player on this Georgia team? Shit.
That dude was the award ceremony all by himself.
But go ahead, Chris. I'm gonna go ahead, man. I think that was a good segue in there when you talk about that. Go ahead, man. Because this is fear. Anton, this is the best part about this for you. The one thing he has to do on this show is he has to acknowledge and he has to show fear. Like this is what this is. So go ahead, man. I know you terrified. Go ahead.
The scary thing about this Georgia team is that, like you said, one, you don't see a flaw. Like you don't, because it's like, all right, well, we could probably get them if we get into a shootout with them. That defense ain't gonna let you get into a shootout with them. Like the one thing that you can hope for, which is possibly the worst thing you can hope for as an athlete, as a fan, but the only thing you can hope for is injuries. That's the only thing, or you can hope that these guys get the big head and they start to go out and people get suspended. Like you got to hope for off the field stuff to happen to have a chance.
Here's the thing though, that don't play because how many defensive linemen do they rotate in?
They wrote like 8 or 9, I want to say. Like they got a full
center went down and the dude slid over and another true freshman popped in and you didn't even notice. They got too many options. That's the problem.
It's a scary thing, dude. Like they're loaded from top to bottom. Like there's nobody you can pick on their defense. And then on the offense, because they hand the ball to everybody, it's All right, pick your poison. All right, you shut down this running back, but we got another one behind him. Like you said, like it's a problem I'm used to giving people. It's not a problem to seeing. Like I'm used to, oh, you shut down Mark Ingram. Okay, let me hand it to Richardson, or let me hand it to Henry, or let me hand it to this guy, that guy. Now, like watching it as like the team that has to hopefully deal with it. It's like, all right, well, hopefully Saban got something, a unicorn or a leprechaun shoved up his ass, because we gonna need that then some. Because there is no way, if we play like we played against A&M against them, we're gonna get ran out the building. Because granted, now I will say this. I give the nod as far as running backs go to A&M. I'll give them two guys the nod as far as the best.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Spiller, and say his last. I'm so bad with his last name, and I like him as a player.
I think it is.
Yeah, that boy, that 1-2 punch is as good as I've seen.
Now I'll give them credit.
Hey, let me go ahead and give him his flowers, Chris. Hold on. That's as good of a punch that we saw with Nick and Sony.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or better yet, Todd and Nick.
Yeah, that was
That was disgusting. That
yeah. So I mean, Jordan, like this is what makes this. This is what makes this such a great show. That Chris Turner has openly mocked Kirby Smart, and
yes.
has always said Kirby, because he's Kirby, he'll always be, the bridesmaid. He'll never be the bride. He has said that for 2 years on this show. And now he's scared to death because JT Daniels hasn't played a snap in 6 weeks, and he is a better quarterback. Now they can hit you with the dual threat because the Spencer kid has got feet.
That's why he's playing right now, is because he can run.
And they're like, there's no need to rush. Like JT's practicing. They're like, we're not going to rush him back.
No need to.
When he's 100%, we got Vanderbilt still coming up. Who else is on their schedule for the rest of the year?
Georgia Tech, like Charleston Southern, Missouri this weekend. And
so he's going to have some tune-up games to come in there and get his rhythm. And now they can hit you. Now they can hit you with whichever one. Hey, they're a little bit off. The other one's coming in juiced. Like you've done this to people, Chris. I watched the game where Georgia had you beat, and you did this to them. They don't have a weakness. They are good at everything, and then they are all-time great at everything defensive. Their D-line is all-time great. They've got the best linebacker in the country plays for them. He showed out. Don't know his name, but I know what he was doing all day on Saturday.
Which one?
17. Whoever 17 is,
baby.
Whoever 17 is, he just entered the conversation. And then that secondary, it's Kirby Smart. He's Saban Jr. You know he's going to have 4 guys that can play man-to-man and play multiple coverages.
Clemson.
So
here's another scary thing about them. They don't play zone.
Nah, straight dogs.
It's straight man-to-man bump coverage. I dare you to throw it deep type, because you roughly got 3 seconds to throw the ball. If you don't, they got a dude on the D-line that's 6'8", about 5,000 pounds, that can run a 4.4. Like, it's not fair because I'm on the receiving end of it. I'm just going to be honest. Like,
what's his name? Is his name Jordan Davis? Is the big
That's
fellow?
Jordan Davis for Heisman, baby.
Hold up, man. Like, you know what I loved about this game, Anton? Like, it's really the first time I paid attention to him, because Florida actually did some things, moved the ball. How are you so big that your running mate, who is phenomenal too, by the way,
88?
How do you make 6'3", 295 pounds look so small?
Thank you.
That's so crazy.
Eric, this is what you got to pay attention to, Walt. Go back and watch every field goal attempt that happened or extra point. and all you see is him and two others the same size as him, and that's all the kicker sees is this big old map. They done blocked 3-4 kicks. Florida kicked it to the left every time because he was trying to avoid that whole side over there.
Yeah, so you know what this is to me too, Anton, as I continue to give you flowers. And I actually want to give Chris Turner this as his time where he can be joyous about college football. He knows it's coming to an end. It's over this year. Whether it's, listen, Georgia's my prohibitive, like, should get it done in the SEC championship. It should just end there. But I'm going to say this. If he had some of them guys that left early, if they would have came back, we're having a different conversation. And this is what I tried to tell you, Chris, at the beginning of the year. The one thing that Anton's team has, they have stars. And unfortunately for you, every single one of their stars plays defense. All their stars play defense.
Yeah.
And their offense is a very functionally sound machine, the way Alabama's. They actually look like Alabama from the early 2010s. That's literally who they are.
That's all they do.
And they're a better, and I'm sorry, Chris, they're a way better version. They are, because they're hungry. They have not won a title in Athens. It has been 41 years, dude.
I'm 41 years old.
Hey.
I need a title.
Listen. Anton and Georgia fans, they tired of talking about Herschel Walker. They've been trying to move on from Herschel Walker for 40 years. Hey, listen, it's just like me, right? Like, what do I have to go back to? Jordan years. Like, it's great to talk about the all-time greats to ever do it. And that's what Herschel is. Herschel Walker, top 20 greatest college football player to ever live.
Yeah.
Period.
Back.
But they're like, dude, we got to go back to 80 all the time. They've been knocking for a long time. And they've had some great teams.
10, 15 years.
They've been knocking. They should have easily had 2 or 3 titles since the 2000s. Easily.
100%.
Easily been in that conversation.
If you look at it, like the Cam years, you should have had one when Cam was at Auburn. Well, I think they slipped up against Tech or somebody like that, and it was just like, what the hell happened?
That dude was on the
one year that damn tip ball.
Yep. And the one tip pass that tipped into the right hand, the dude running full speed down the middle of the field. So it's been, and that's all, like, honestly.
What's his name for Tennessee throwing that damn Hail Mary?
Honestly, the best thing and the worst thing.
T. Martin or whatever.
If we beat them somehow, some way in the SEC championship, then we play them the first round in the damn playoffs.
Well, no, that won't happen. NCAA won't allow that to happen. What'll happen is if Bama wins out and then they win, gonna do what they do, because somehow you guys are number 2 in these rankings. Like, I don't even know how that happened. Listen to me, and listen to me good. Did I not expect you guys to be in the top 4? Yeah, y'all Alabama. That's, at the end of the day. But 2? Listen to me. Undefeated should mean something. And I'm not talking about Cincinnati being there. Cincinnati got to win out, and we got to see how that's going to play itself out. I'm not doing that at this point. But Michigan State is undefeated.
Michigan State,
and Oregon is undefeated. I'm right. Oregon's undefeated. Y'all should be 4. I don't even know, because it's no, I live out here, and I don't even know who's winning the pack.
And that's the
15, 16, what they are. But
when it comes to this top 4, I agree with you. We shouldn't be number 2. We shouldn't.
I'll give you 4 by default. Like, I'll give you that.
Right.
But to be ranked second, like, it's like, no, if you guys played Texas A&M 10 times, you would lose 4 times out of 10. You would, because that's how good that backfield is. Yeah.
Here's my
You,
comeback.
hey, you
won't-
losing
you know-
40% of the time, partner.
These boys.
Here's my only-
Y'all ain't number 2 in the country. Y'all are right where you should be. I like y'all at about 5.
Cincinnati taking out of this equation because I don't give a damn what you say. I get it. They won last year. They won out. Then they played Georgia and got their ass beat or something like that in the last game. Okay. Taking Cincinnati out of this equation. Michigan State. They beat a Michigan team that nobody really respected at all in the first place. Like everybody's just waiting for them to cut Harbaugh and send
See,
him down.
you can't do that. You can't that's the problem with you.
The only time when they have
I'm cutting you off. I'm cutting you off because that's your bias. Your bias can't do that. Michigan has played good football. You can't do that. You can't go hard. Yeah,
everybody's biased.
Listen to me. Just because he does what he does, those teams were set. It is not easy to get to 7-0 because if it was that easy, your team would be 7-0. Bang, bang. Yeah, go ahead. Gotcha. So you can't just dismiss what they did. And on top of the fact that a 7-0 versus 7-0, like that those matchups don't happen very often in college football. I don't have the stats on it because this was more about Anton giving praise, but I'm not going to let you just shit on Jim Harbaugh just yet because the Big Ten East has not solved itself yet. We don't know who's coming out of that. It's Michigan State's to win or lose. Like they're in the catbird seat, but they still got to get out of there. They still got to play Ohio State. They still got to play Penn State. That's not over. So I'm not going to let you do that. That's why you're getting cut off because I'm the Michael Jordan free throw shooter. Your free throw shooting's like Ben Simmons on this show. So I'm going to go ahead and say what I have to say.
I'm going to ask you this question. So you respect Harbaugh in Michigan?
In my opinion, I mean.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
It's Jim Harbaugh. You know what I mean? Listen, Michigan's going through the same shit that Anton's going through as a fan, basically. You think listen, I love Charles Woodson. I had Charles Woodson cleats. You think they want to keep talking about Charles Woodson? I get it for them. They're going through the same struggles, and it's like, man, we had it and we blew it. Is that really the coaching, or are those players not stepping up and being men and making plays on the road and let down my guy, number 1, Anthony, who I think is going to be a monster? I mean, to go back to your home field, like, see, this is Bay's segment. Let's get back to Anton. The point is this. The point is very simply this, Chris. There's no way on God's beautiful green earth or what's left of it in our era that we're in that you guys should be number 2. Like you want to talk about bias? There's the real bias.
Yeah.
Don't worry about Jim Harbaugh and what that means. Don't disrespect Michigan State's 8-0. They've worked hard to get there. Don't do it.
We should be 3.
Here's
why.
All right, I'm going to the phone. I'm going to the phone. You can make me go to the phone.
Oregon has lost 1.
Oregon lost the game?
Oregon lost the game.
All right, then I'm good with it.
To a Pac-10 team at that.
If Oregon lost, now I really have a problem with these rankings. Then Oregon ass shouldn't even be in there.
Oregon always finds itself either out or they find themselves a victim in the first round, as they've shown.
Who they lose to?
You
keep talking. I'm going to go look it up.
They have to go to Dallas to play Georgia in Dallas? That shit go get ugly in the first quarter. Like
but is Michigan State the new Notre Dame?
Ooh, see, I'm not in that. I can't believe he said that on our show. And Bays ain't.
Yes, I did. I'll say it when you get on too.
I'm not doing it.
Hey, bring it to the SEC then.
Bring it to the SEC. I'm so sick and tired of y'all. And y'all bring it to the SEC. I'm trying to give you. I'm trying to really, really give flowers here. Like, don't keep it right where it needs to be. I need to see. Oh yeah, that's a bad loss. You can't be losing to Stanford. I didn't know Stanford beat Stanford 10 minutes down the street. Like, no, listen. They got to go. Listen. So now let's really. I wish Baines was here now, but I'm telling you right now. Now we can really get into these rants. They lost to Stanford. Come on, man. Stanford ain't been relevant since Christian McCaffrey.
Since Toby Gerhardt, let's be honest.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
McCaffrey now. Don't you can't. Don't be. See, Anton, you see what happens on this show. Anytime somebody gets mentioned and can take shine off an Alabama player, he just wants to shit off on it because he knows Christian McCaffrey should have won that Heisman that year. We had a show about it. I went off. And look at them. Now look at them. They both on IR. Ain't that a bitch?
That's fucked up. Yeah.
Man. Hey, shout out to the 18 with him, my guy, man. Oh, I'm gonna miss him. Oh, that's a different show. I'm sorry, Anton.
He was
listen.
I thought he was
listen to me. All I can tell you is this. Chris Turner, I may not know much, but I know one thing. It's over. You're not beating these dudes twice. You're not beating them twice.
No. It ain't happening.
Because you don't, what did I tell you? And now you've been watching with your own eyes. It has been, Anton, when I tell you every game last year, I wish that these phones could save, like these Samsung joints save things the way iPhones do, bro. If you'd seen the way this dude texted me through every game, because nobody even hung with him last year. Nobody hung with him. And he was just giving it to me. I think the only game that was even close where there was any, like a little bit of silence, but he still talked his shit through it, was the SEC championship with Florida. Because Florida gave them all they wanted. And then after that was the only time there'd be some spaces in between his texting. But this year, when I tell you Alabama games are on, it is radio silence. You got some crickets on there?
Yep.
Put some crickets on there, or put them buzzers on, or whatever. Hey, look.
I know.
Hey, I think he was right next to him half them texts last year he was sending to me, just being violent towards me.
Anton, I was helping him move into his house, right? And like that's when they were playing Tennessee. So he was like, he asked like, "Oh, who y'all got this week?" I was like, "Oh, we got Tennessee." Like, y'all gonna beat their ass or whatever. So I checked my phone. I'm like, bro, we down 14-7 to Tennessee, man. Ain't no way. Like, ain't no way we gonna lose to Tennessee. Like, I done rushed home. I'm quiet and sweating the whole ride. Like, these motherfuckers is down at half. It's a volunteer nation. Like, we'd already broke the streak of losing to Saban assistants. Don't break this. We ain't lost to Tennessee since I was at Alabama. Like, that's how long ago this was. Like, it's 16. We almost lost to Tennessee at the half. Now, granted, we won like 52-24, but like that first half.
You gave up 24 to Tennessee, bro.
Yeah. I know. I know. I know.
You know what I love about both you guys right now? Y'all just shitting on schools like the short memory asses over here. Y'all acting like Tennessee ain't the right coach away from doing exactly what Georgia's doing right now to everybody. All it takes is the right guy.
No.
That stadium, listen to me. At the end of the day,
have the right guys.
It takes the right guy to run a program. That's all it takes is one guy. That's why, listen, they already talked about it, Chris and Anton. And I'll pose a question within it because we're just having SEC talk because I've had to watch college football. So, of course, I have to watch CBS because I actually like the Georgia team. It's nice to watch a team I like. I respected Alabama last year because they were great. And I love that LSU team. You know what I'm saying? Love that LSU team. But here's the rumbles. Here's the question, the transition to this. There's been rumors of Matt Rule being the guy to take over LSU.
So?
So I pose this to you as this. Here's a beautiful thing about you, and I think you should be in your moment right now. For you, I know it's about this year. You guys are going to win. I'm giving you, like, that's me. I'm giving you roses now. If they lose, I'll be shocked. I love retracting things on this show. It doesn't happen very often for me. So it's all.
If they lose, y'all will be carrying me in a casket.
What? What happened? What did he say? Did he threaten my life on my show?
No, I said y'all will be carrying me in a casket.
Oh no, man. It'll be a great year. This dude out there. So here's why when you guys both go what? And honestly, Chris Turner should know better than anybody. Nobody in their right mind was like, oh, Nick Saban's the answer to our prayers. Like, oh, Nick Saban's gonna turn this thing into a dynasty. Did you really see 6 titles?
I saw 2. I'm not gonna lie, I saw 2.
So when you both roll your eyes about somebody who took a Baylor program that basically lost everything and then took them back to 11 wins, you actually give him a booster. Like, let's talk there. Let's start there. Both you guys are well aware of the booster programs that are running your universities. Consider that you guys are both boosters for your universities.
No idea what you're talking about.
You lie through your face. Now,
no idea.
You're telling me that Matt Rule, after them 2-3 years there, where they've had minimal success, been competitive, he doesn't come back. He comes into your living room the same way Nick Saban been coming to his them kids' living room going, hey, I was up there. I know what it takes to get there. Same case. And now it's just a matter of, I mean, what's like the delicacy in Alabama? Like, what's like the big go-to meal that everybody eats in Alabama?
Oh, barbecue.
So you telling me he's gonna go, what do you rather have? You want to have that barbecue down there and it's nice, or you want some of this gumbo?
I hear what you said.
I'm saying. So don't dismiss it. You get the right guy, and don't act like Peyton Manning still ain't got weight to where at some point when Peyton Manning goes, enough's enough, Tennessee needs to be competitive again. Don't act like they can't get the right guy to get in there and start getting some guys. Because at the end of the day, I've seen what it looks like when they sing Rocky Top. They get 110,000 in there. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure you took a couple of ass whoopings in that stadium. So you know what it's like to hear Rocky Top. They get going. Dun 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 dun. Hey, dun 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 dun. Hey, all I'm telling you is one of the greatest things in college sports. It's a known, man. So now that I know that you guys are both now I know that you guys have both shit on it. So when it does happen, LSU wins a title in 3 years, we can come back to this and y'all can continue to go like, way to be Michael Jordan at the free throw line. Notice how I'm not saying Steph Curry, you know.
You said in 3 years?
I think, listen, the rumor is he's gone after this year. Like, he went up there and it's like, this ain't what I want.
Okay, but here's the thing, is where's Georgia going to be sitting in 3 years? Because Georgia is now the new Alabama.
See, this is okay. Now you've gone too far.
No.
You ain't said nothing about your team. This whole show you kept it to, you know what? It ain't over till it's over. And I know for a fact, all you did was, have a nice, delicious dinner. The only one drinking on this show is me. Did he just say, can I get a sound effect for that, please?
Yes, I said Georgia is the new Alabama. Dynasty coming.
Can I get a sound effect or something? You just not going to
I don't know what to say to that. Like, that's just, matter of fact, I got one just for that one.
Yeah, there we go. Like, what? You have to.
Are you paying attention to the recruiting schedule? The recruiting?
Hey, I'm paying attention to recruiting, and look what it got Alabama right now, in trouble.
Yeah, that's Alabama. That's why I say they done.
But Alabama got they got 6 rings behind that though. That's a dude. Come on, man.
And they had to start at 1, didn't they?
Yeah, but you got to win it first.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be the new Alabama.
Okay,
That's what it
so
is.
America, help me on this, America. I'm hoping we get some great commentary. So
I hope we do too.
Once again, shout out to Expos, man. Shout out Upper Deck. I'm hoping to hear some of them come in. When they see the guy that's leading them, and they can go like, but Coach Anton, don't you tell us that, hey, in order to be great, we got to do great things first.
We are doing great things.
We still in Herschel Walker mode with your team.
Exactly.
That's very true.
Don't get me wrong. I put the Wayne J. stamp of approval on it. Like, you're going to win the title, so you're welcome. But you as a fan, you just flip-flopped your whole stance. You went from, I ain't going to say shit, to we the shit.
That's because I can't stand being on video or sitting next to him and have to listen to that. Walt, you heard it over text message. I got to work with him 6 days out of the week.
Well, at the end of the day, you just gotta know where to hit Chris Turner where it hurts. I mean, you just gotta hit him. You gotta jab him like no Deshaun Watson, and that'll bring him down for a little bit. How does it feel when Alabama's driving the keys to a well-oiled machine down there in Miami, and it's doing nothing for you? Like, there's ways to hit Chris, and he'll shut up. Like, there's not much he can say. Like, you just have to get him off his game.
I would like to go on the record and say that I wanted Justin Herbert for the Miami Dolphins quarterback. I just want to repeat that.
Or Anton, if you want to hit him right where it hurts, I got 2 words for him: Isaiah Spiller. And just he's like, what's he gonna do?
Nothing.
I'd just like to go on record and say, Walt, who is your alma mater playing this week?
Oh, I couldn't even
tell you. Gives a damn. Exactly.
I couldn't tell you. Couldn't even tell you.
Exactly.
But I can tell you the Bulls are 6-1. And I'm undefeated 1 fantasy league. Let me tell you something. I know when to know my role and shut my mouth. You ain't heard nothing about Northwestern and will not hear, because I know I'm good. I ain't got a problem with it. Have you seen me wearing much Bear stuff? No. Because I've been watching it. You know why? All my fantasy football teams are called Justin Fields Sucks. I know what time it is. I told you I'm Michael Jordan percentage right on this show. That is all that matters, Chris, because I'm right in this space. I'm right about this. Anton, come on. You better.
Let me pose this real quick before we get back on it.
You can't say that.
I'm gonna give him his flowers this way. So
he was doing so good too.
All being said, the Braves should take the World Series, right?
Oh yeah,
what's the score in the game right now?
So they should take the World Series. The Georgia Bulldogs should take college football. The Hawks are honestly about a trade, maybe 2 trades away to really make a run in the playoffs. Because you're not bad. The Hawks aren't bad. Don't make the Hawks aren't bad. Like, they're a decent enough team.
Chris, you know how much I know you don't know anything about basketball?
Because of what you just said.
They were in the conference finals last year, dude. They're really good. Like, they're the reason Philadelphia is a mess right now. Everybody's like, we lost to them.
Exactly. So are they?
That was the best series I watched all the basketball. I was like, go ahead, Atlanta.
Are they getting past a healthy Nets team?
Well, yeah, because the Nets ain't gonna be healthy this year.
I'm sorry, a vaccinated Nets team.
And I refuse to have any. Hey, the views of this show do not affect our opinions on your vaccination status. So I have no comment on the Brooklyn Nets the entire year. That's just out of my realm. I'm gonna throw that right.
We have a good Hawks team. The Falcons are still terrible. That's. But
I think he's having a great year, man. I mean, listen. He gets that. He gets the same privileges that he had to deal with you. Because like he said, yeah, I get it over text. He's correct.
Oh, he's face to face.
He knows where you live. And he will haunt you for 365 days. And I'm honestly looking forward to getting all sorts of pictures of you, like you fall asleep somewhere and then you just got some Georgia red on you for no reason. Like, I hope he just tortures you because you deserve it.
You decorate his car.
Yeah.
I look forward to a Georgia national championship. So the championship a couple of years back where the lights went out in Georgia, 2nd and 26. Georgia went up or whatever. We came back and won. I literally drove to this man's house 11 o'clock, midnight, whenever the game ended, with my Alabama jersey on, ringing the doorbell, hitting the horn up and down the street. I don't care about these folks trying to sleep. Fuck that. Roll Tide. I know it's going to be 1,000 times worse if they pull this championship out. Like, it is not going to be a good time.
See, and then now you done messed up, and now your verbiage is terrible. Like, I'm glad I'm here as the voice of reason. If it's not an if, it's when they win.
When.
It's when they win.
I put if on it because I'm hoping for injuries. I'm hoping for egos to get inflated.
Now you messing with people's money. Is that what you're doing?
Hey. You know how many times I wish Najee Harris would break his knee? Shit.
Y'all are brutal. But listen, real talk. I love that you bring out 2nd and 26. That was the point I wanted to make about why this is so fitting for Anton to be in the situation he's in. Because this guy lost 2 national championship opportunities back-to-back years due to rotating quarterbacks because they had 2 guys that were able to do different things and win games. Jalen Hurts' game, it is not lost upon you, Chris, as a fan, but it is lost upon a lot of people. And that was the reason why he said, I got to go to Oklahoma and I got to show I can throw the football too. Yeah. Because the fact they let him, and he was very one-dimensional at that time, that Georgia let him come back and do that to him back to back. I was just like, man, these guys just have Alabama phobia. They did. That string of guys, they didn't like these guys.
Don't care.
They ain't scared of nobody.
I think they were all, anybody that's a senior were babies on that team or red shirts, and they were like, this ain't them same dudes. Because like I've told him, Anton, and Chris Turner knows this is why he's not texting anybody during Bama games anymore. They don't have a star. They have very good players. They have no stars. And it's the first time they've had no stars, I think, since Saban has been there. They've always had a guy. It kicked off with Trent Richardson, and it's gone ever since then. But they have no stars. Sorry, Trent and Julio. Because Julio's a Saban guy.
I'll pose this question to you real quick. It's a given that Georgia's going to be number 1 throughout, barring.
We're talking catastrophes. Like,
barring catastrophes happen, Georgia's going to run out. I'm going to take Alabama out of it. I'm going to ask you this question. Wake Forest is 8-0. If they run out, ACC championship, they beat whoever else is left on their schedule, because it's Wake Forest. I don't really pay attention to Wake Forest, but I know like their quarterback's putting up like dumb numbers. If Wake Forest runs out, do they get that 2nd spot? It's a Power 5 conference. Now, technically, nobody in the ACC is ranked outside of them, I don't think. Them in like North Carolina at like 22. Does Wake Forest get that 2nd spot?
Well,
jump over Cincinnati. I know that much.
In my opinion, I think if you go undefeated and you're still in a Power 5 conference, that's going to earn you the right. So the thing about that is, with Wake Forest, what would be interesting with Wake Forest is, would they take Wake Forest's spot, and let's say Notre Dame wins the rest of the way out and they're 1 loss.
Please don't say that, man.
Would Notre Dame step them? I don't think it's so much you got to worry about a Georgia. Georgia is in, period.
Right.
So Georgia is the one that's going to take a spot from anybody. If they lose, they're taking a spot.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because whoever wins that SEC championship, if they have one loss or even two losses, I think they're going to be in the playoff. That's just the way that this thing is. It's not rigged is the wrong word for this, but by virtue of the fact that the conference has been what it's been over the past, 10 years, you're going to get two SEC teams in as long as that SEC team that wins that conference doesn't have like 3 losses or something like that. And that's not so it comes down to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I give Bays credit because Bays actually picked the Final Four last year and knew that Notre Dame would leap somebody. So I don't want that to,
which shouldn't have happened.
No, it
so
shouldn't.
I'm looking at it as that. I'm looking at it as I'm doing a safeguard that whoever wins the SEC championship, if it's not Georgia, they're still in a spot.
Right.
Georgia they take a 3 or 4 seed. That's the way it's going to go. And then it's going to be basically the best of the best at that. If Michigan State runs the table, they will clearly be the 2. They will be if they run the table. Because they're the only team left in the Big Ten that's undefeated. So if they run the table, it's Michigan State. If it's one loss, whoever the one loss team that comes out of the Big Ten, they're getting one of the 4. And then after that, if Oregon's already in it and they got one loss, what are we talking about? If Wake Forest goes undefeated and you give Oregon and Oregon runs the table and they win everything, I feel like there's something wrong with that.
Honestly, I put the Pac-12 just about in the same shitty ass boat. Like it's like, yeah, you run out, yeah, you win the conference, but what does that really mean? Like and then the team that we're not talking about because they've been on the nice edge all season long, Oklahoma. Like they're one bad pass away. They're one bad pass away from not being in this conversation at all.
Wait a minute, is Oklahoma still undefeated? I don't even know anymore.
Hold on, let me.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're 9-0.
Listen. So
it's 9-0.
So you can't not. I mean, what are they? I bet they're probably like 5 or 6 right now in the rankings. What are they ranked?
8.
Ooh, so Cincinnati's ahead of them.
I'm gonna give it to you real quick. Okay.
Go from Oklahoma up.
As of November 2nd, Georgia is 8-0. Alabama 7-1. Michigan State at 3, 8-0. 4 is Oregon at 7-1. 5 is Ohio State 7-1. 6 is Cincinnati 8-0. Michigan 7-1 at 7. Oklahoma 9-0 at 8. Number 9 is Wake Forest 8-0. And then number 10 is a 7-1 Notre Dame team. So they keep always hanging around, but
so that's the thing. So that just further lets you know to me the system is flawed, period. Because like you can't, I don't care what you say, and I have these arguments all the time with everything. Wins and losses matter. I don't care. It is so hard to go on winning streaks and stay undefeated in college football. That's why it usually never came down to that. But then they would have those crazy tiebreakers back in the day because they didn't know what to do. The greatest team to go undefeated and never even get championship consideration is that Auburn team from 2004. That team was insanely good, and they finished number 3. Like, don't get me wrong, USC was that deal.
yeah.
But if we would have had a playoff and had that game, interesting. So to me, Oklahoma's 8-0, 9-0 they are. Oh, it's fluky. It's very, very fluky.
Well, that's the thing. Oklahoma's been in like a tight game all 9 games. Like it's been a touchdown here or there, a field goal here and there that saved them every last game.
And to me, this is what's wrong with this entire era. We're giving people credit for losing. That's the whole issue with sports, period, in this era. Like, I don't care if you played with this team. I don't give a shit. If you lost, you lost. Because in our era, when you lost, you had to go right to the back of that line, or you had to go sit on the side of the court. That's all there was to it, man. So, I mean, look, I think we should end this stream, come back with another one, check and see where our guy is. But I have no problem doing give me a minute here, because I feel like Anton deserves a little bit more time to say what he has to say. So I leave it up to you, guest of honor, Georgia's finest. How you gonna hit him with the sound when Mario died, man?
I know, that's messed up.
That was a little messed up. You gotta give him some.
His team died, not mine.
Yeah. That's a little bit better.
Anton, you get the first give me a minute. So you know how to start it off with just America? Give me a minute.
All right, America, give me just a minute here.
Uh-oh.
All right. So first thing, please don't ever mention Notre Dame in college playoffs ever, 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 ever. Bays, I'm sorry, or Michigan State. Georgia Bulldogs have finally found they Saint Nick. Kirby finna part the Red Sea, aka the Crimson Tide, so that we can go on and put that ring and start the dynasty. Now, when the dynasty happens, I'm coming back on this show, and I'm gonna have 6, 7, 8, 10 rings, whatever it is, whatever it happens to be. At the moment, I'm gonna have them made up, and I'm gonna wear them with a championship belt strapped right across right here, with a picture of Nick Saban on the backside, so he could just stare at my belly button because he ugly. But what I got about 20, 30 more seconds to verbally bash that Notre Dame is trash and never should be in the college football playoffs. Tua is garbage. And my Braves are up 6-0 right now. We're about to hopefully win this World Series because I'm gonna not celebrate because I've been there too many times. But 1995 is a long time. I'm done with my minute.
It was like, hey,
you guys are so great.
Hey, it was like calm but yet aggressive at the same time the entire time. It was so passively aggressive. Like he really wants this Braves win. So I mean, I'm gonna shout out Nick Haney on the air right now and the whole
Nick Haney.
I'm gonna shout out Haney. You know what I'm saying? My homegirl Carissa. You know what I'm saying? Sean, Mike, the Haney boys. I know they're big Braves fans. So shout out to the family, man. Enjoy it because as I know, those World Series championships for your team don't come around very often. All right, it's up to you, CT, man. You want to take a little quick riff?
I'm gonna take mine right now.
Ooh, this should be interesting.
So, America, give me a minute. I sat here and I gave praise where praise is due because the Georgia Bulldogs are it right now in college football. But, America, don't you ever forget, this college football season was brought to you by Nick Saban. The only reason the Bulldogs are good is because of a Saban assistant. The only reason Michigan State is good is because of a Saban assistant. If it wasn't for St. Nick, Texas A&M would still be trash. Ole Miss would still be trash. Well, Maryland still is trash, and they took our young quarterback of the future, which I'm really glad we didn't end up with Tia or Taga or whatever, Tagovailoa that ended up, whatever. Let's see, who else would be trash? Did I say the Georgia Bulldogs would be trash? Because they'll be trash. They would still be struggling right now with Mark Richt if it wasn't for St. Nick. Michigan State would still be. Here's the thing about Michigan State, and I'm going to repeat this once he get back on the show. We broke Michigan State. Remember when they was in the national championship and it was like, oh man, Michigan State is back. We broke them. And then we were nice and like, oh man, we feel bad. Like they ain't really been shit since we broke them. So here's a coach, bro. Like, sorry. Like, because we did y'all bad in the national championship. So here's a coach. Here's some relevance. You'll be okay. Because if it wasn't for Mel Tucker, the only coach to ever beat Michigan twice in his debut years, but he's an Alabama guy, St. Nick guy, whatever. Listen, have your fun. The sun shines on the dog's ass from time to time. We'll be back. We ain't even gone now. That's the thing about it. It's just we are counted out, and I'm not counting this out, but I am saying, like, if this was like wrestling and it was like 1, 2, we like right on that, about to come down. So, college football, you can thank Nick Saban for there being equality once again in college football. We'll be back. It's okay. Another playoff. We'll see you all again next year. In America, that's been my minute.
I believe Mel Tucker was more recently related to this than Alabama, my brother.
Y'all coach too, so shut up.
I'm pretty sure he's more related to this. I don't think they ever mentioned Alabama when they mentioned him. I think they mentioned Georgia and Colorado. But I don't ever hear Alabama mentioned in that conversation. But anyway, I'm sorry, Walt. I don't want to take your time.
No, this is perfect. I just been really taken aback by how aggressively, passively aggressive those last two. Give me a minute. They were so calm, but they were so packed with some. Everybody else could eat shit within them. Right? That's the way it felt. I don't even know if I got anything for that, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and try something here. So. Based on what I've done and what I've heard, America. Give me a minute. Well, America, there's a reason for this Batman shirt, for this topic. It's because I didn't have a Robin shirt. I'm sitting here and very, very humbled to actually have a legit Georgia fan that has earned the right to talk trash, and an Alabama fan who basically gets to rest on the laurels of a decade of dominance. I mean, it's very hard to come in here and really say anything to that or refute that within this. But I will say this in regards to staying on topic with this. I think it helps because I've only had like 2 beers, so I'm not like really drunk to go anywhere else. So, shout out to the wife for like saying, hey, let's simmer it down a little bit. This message is directly to the NCAA. And I think I was going into it a little bit as we were getting there, and I knew like we just need to give me a minute. And it's really to anybody that's listening and has really any love for sports. We got to get back to winning matters. Vince Lombardi used to say, winning isn't like, what was it? winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Yeah. I'm the guy that actually flipped it. And I said, winning isn't everything. But like, I don't even know. Like maybe I am drunk off 2 beers. I have been. But there's just not an emphasis on winning matter. Everybody in the last 20 years of sports, for some reason, I see more things come on social media. Well, look what this guy has done, and he's made this many appearances, and because this happened here, and what an effort, and it's everybody else's fault. The NCAA is right now personally responsible for what is wrong with every kid coming behind it right now playing. We are praising losing. And when I see that a Pac-12 conference, to the SEC's credit, has not been relevant for quite some time, gets a 4 seed, over 2 undefeated teams in power conferences, what are we doing? Where's the consistency? Do I believe that these teams will stay undefeated and be there in the end? Absolutely not. We're talking about Oklahoma. We're talking about Wake Forest. But have they put in the work where the recruiting is equal and fair is fair? As a matter of fact, in a conference where they've had a recent champion. So what are you saying? If it's not Dabo, it doesn't count? That's not fair. If it's not the 2000s, it doesn't count for, that's bullshit. If they haven't lost the game, give them that respect. The fact that you're respecting Cincinnati more than you're respecting Wake Forest and Oklahoma, and thank God Chris Turner has access to the internet that I don't have, or just was faster to the punch, because I don't get that. There is no consistency within this, and I think that's bullshit. Get your shit together. This is exactly the reason why we got 3 conferences joining together to do some super conference thing that probably ain't gonna matter anyway. It's your fault, NCAA. You've been late paying them. You're still suspending kids for it in all sports. This is your fault. This is not gonna work out the way it should. You are praying that my Michael Jordan free throw percentage comes true, and Georgia just runs right through this thing and just makes it easy. You guys are always looking for the easy way out. You don't want to step in and make it acceptable that, hey, you know what? I'll give you Alabama. Alabama, at this point, has earned a right with 1 loss to always be in that conversation. And I will respect that. I can put my hatred aside for the sanctity of being a champion and winning in sports. But you can miss me with the fact that Oregon's in there with 1 loss. You can miss me as much as I root for the small conference guys, that Cincinnati's above Oklahoma and above Wake Forest. To go into these stadiums that are 70, 80,000 people and to come out with road wins means something. NCAA, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm broke, just give me a job, whatever it is. But get your shit together. It's your fault. And you're messing up our kids, making it harder for Coach Anton. Teach these kids that, yes, we want to have fun, we want to do it the right way. But there's a difference between winning and losing. You're showing me there's no consequences for losing, and that's an NCAA thing. I will not stand idly by and not talk shit about you on my show. America, that's been my minute.
So before we get up out of here, Anton, I need you to pub the Billings Expos and all
Please.
y'all got your own tryouts, season, the new uniforms. You get pub your team, bro.
All right, yo, we got the facility up and running, Upper Deck Expos. My 12U boys, we got some pretty fly uniforms coming out this year. Can't wait to share the swag with everybody. But we headed to Vegas in January. Walt, you playing flag football in January?
Yeah, he is. You already signed. Yeah, it's already happened.
Hey, if Travis Brown ain't going, I ain't going. So you got to talk to Travis Brown on that.
Hey, well, we'll be out there playing baseball, Walt, so you can come see the boys.
Well, I would actually love to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would rather not hurt listen, I did squats on Sunday. I went to 225 for a set of 10, and it felt like I did 385 for a set of 20. So that's how football's going for me.
But no, we got a huge season. We done added a bunch of teams, girls softball as well. So it's looking up. If there's any sponsors out there that want to throw some money our way, we'll take that too. What'd you say, Turner?
Oh no, I said for the kids. Man.
I said it's for the kids, baby.
Yeah, dig in your wallets for the kids. Coach can use some new shoes too.
He went AAU on us real quick, didn't he?
Yeah, we need a whole team shoe contract. So whoever got it, let me know.
Hey, shout out to Expos, man.
So yo, shout out to the Billings Expos doing their thing. They got the old school Expos joints, them powder blue ones. So yeah, shout out to the Expos with that.
Got them Andre Dawsons. Yeah, the Tim Raines.
Yep.
Yeah.
So shout out to our sponsors, 9 Round Fitness. Just left my workout there a couple hours ago. Rebel Coffee, we still love you. I'll be by the kiosk probably later on this week to get my nice little cup of coffee to get me going in the morning. I don't even like coffee, but I like Rebel Coffee. And that's not just saying that because they give me free coffee, but because I actually like Rebel Coffee.
Well, I heard it was very robust.
It was very robust with the earthy tone to it. So all that being said, make sure you check us out on Facebook. Make sure you check out the Billings Expos on Facebook. Make sure you check out Doghouse Training on Instagram and on Facebook. Make sure you check out What's Good America on Spotify, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Anchor, all that good stuff. We're going to share this because we curse too much. We're going to share it to the Billings Expos page, Anton page, the Doghouse Training page. We're going to share it there. Well, make sure you share it to somebody who knows something about it. But with all that being said, the same question I asked you tonight, and I'm sober. I might go grab me a little taste of that yak, that Casa Amigos. I'm feeling it right now. Casa Amigos got a double meaning. Also, I got to wear a Jaguars jersey probably on the next episode or two. I ain't happy about it. I got to say some things that I don't really mean. Just bear with me, America, because the shit gonna hurt. With all that being said, the same question I asked you tonight is the same question I ask you every time I get a chance. And what is it?
I'm gonna pass it to Anton. Anton, what is it?
What's good, America?
What's good, America?
What's good, America?